Tony with the body?
Yes, sir. We've made a sterile pathway to the scene, sir.
I'll have a look. Garfield, you'll take over here when I put the area car back on watch.
Yes, sir. Can't beat the outdoor life, eh, George?
Yeah, well, at least it's not raining.
Oh, give it time, mate, give it time.
You'll be taking morning press, Derek?
Yes, sir.
If necessary, you can contact me at area.
Yes.
Only if it's something horrendous. The DAC doesn't like being interrupted.
The DAC wants to talk about sectorization, does it?
Yes, that's the idea.
What are you going to tell him?
Oh, I shall report progress.
But we haven't made any progress since your last meeting.
The DAC doesn't want to hear that, Derek. If you're going to deal with the top brass, you have to learn a bit of diplomacy.
Yes, I'm sure you're right, sir.
I'll see you later.
Bye, sir.
Goodbye.
The place was being renovated, would you believe? They've raised £50,000.
Where do you think the fire started?
Well, that'll have to be investigated, won't it? But all the signs are that it started over here. We've left everything in situ as best we can.
Deliberate?
Odds on. He's an old wino. Fell asleep with a fag light.
Well, since all we've got is a corpse that's only just recognisable as human, let's not get previous, shall we?
Oh, no, sir. But I mean, they do get a lot of dossers around here. One could have found his way in.
Well, it'll be treated as a suspicious death, till we know otherwise.
Whatever reservations the troops might have, sectorization is the wave of the future, Charles. We're all going to have to learn to live with it.
Well, absolutely, sir. We're all very clear about that at Sunhill.
So, what's the latest news from your implementation team?
Well, we're evaluating our options by a process of full and frank consultation, with personnel at every level. And so far, the comeback seems very encouraging. The troops seem to appreciate the fact that we're talking to them on this one.
Very good. So long as it's understood that being consulted isn't the same as having a veto. Sectorization will happen.
Oh, yes, sir. We'll all be aboard when the time comes.
Yes, you will. Sink or swim. Another matter you ought to bear in mind for the future, Charles, borough policing.
Oh. Is that proposal firmed up now, sir?
Well, it's not engraved in tablets of stone, but it's a definite maybe. You understand the thinking?
Oh, yes, sir. With increased multi-agency involvement with the local authority, it makes more sense for the division boundary to be the same as the boroughs.
Yes, of course, where you've only got one division, you'll only need one chief superintendent.
Yes, sir.
Chance to chop some dead wood out of the senior ranks. Survival of the fittest. Law of nature. May never happen, of course, but it's an incentive to stay ahead of the game.
We live in interesting times, sir.
It's not likely to be much for me, what with the fire and the water. Be something when they move the body.
That'll be down to the surgeon when he gets here.
Gov, I've just been on to Amit. They're happy for us to get on with the preliminaries and keep them posted.
Well, it'll be out of our hands once another cause of death. It's not our department.
Yes, sir, I take your point. Community liaison will be a vital part of police strategy in the future, but where does that leave Sunhill?
I want to establish a borough community liaison officer based at Sunhill. We can bring the youth and community service and the child protection team under the one roof. And it makes perfect sense to bring the domestic violence unit onto the same premises.
Oh, I see, sir. Very radical thinking. Would I be right in assuming that basing the borough's CLO at Sunhill will have implications in the way that the borough policing strategy would work?
Well, I make no promises, Charles. But if you can take this new CLO under your wing with minimal fuss, it'll be a sign that the management team at Sunhill is on line for the demands of the moment.
It'll give us some headaches as far as accommodation is concerned.
You've got a recently refurbished station, Charles. I'm sure you'll manage to rise to the challenge.
Yes, sir.
Those who can't adapt are in danger of extinction. There'll be a shake-up all round. You know Mr. Cato at Barton Street?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, he's awaiting promotion to Chief Inspector, and I'm minded to move him to Sunhill.
Sunhill, but we've... you mean to take the community liaison officer's job, sir?
Yes, certainly. Although if you've got any other ideas for shunting senior officers about, I'll be glad to listen to them. I was wondering if Derek Conway doesn't need a change of scene.
No, sir. No, Derek's perfectly happy where he is. I don't think he'd thank us for moving him at this stage of his career. I think a newly promoted chief inspector like Cato would be ideal for the CLO's job.
Poor old devil.
Might not be old, Gov. There's no way of telling without a post-mortem.
Well, that's as old as he's going to get.
Something here.
Take a couple in situ.
Where are we supposed to put them?
Oh, we'll manage all right. Push comes to shove, we'll put the civvies in porter cabins and the new troops can have their offices.
Well, I'm glad to see you so comfortable about it, sir. Some chief superintendents might have told the DAC we had enough on our plates with police work, without housing a CLO and its shower of SOs and 9-to-5ers. Not to mention the hordes of wronged women and snotty-nosed delinquents that'll be trailing round the neck after them.
When you're in my position, Derek, you learn to take the long-term view. To consider all the implications before you react.
Is that right, sir?
By placing the new CLO here, the DAC is tipping us the wink that Sunhill is favourite to become the new divisional station for the borough. I'd be digging my own grave if I threw that back in his face.
Oh, I see. Yes, yes, of course. How very short-sighted of me. I hadn't thought of it from your point of view.
I was watching your back too, Derek. DAC was flying some kite about shunting you off somewhere. I soon knocked that one on the head.
Is that so?
Yes. Yes, I told him I needed my faithful old retainer as Chief Inspector Ops, especially with all the new blood and radical thinking that's going to be around.
May I ask, sir, what the DAC had in mind for me before you knocked it on the head?
We never got round to talking about that, but I think you realise there's no point in trying to play a new tune on an old fiddle.
According to the preliminary PM, there were no signs of violence. Death was due to asphyxiation, then the body was severely burnt. Now, the brigade reckoned that the fire was started near where we found the body, with signs of candle wax and burnt newspapers.
Wrapped himself in the newspapers to keep warm. Fell asleep with a candlelight.
Curtains. There's no sign of involvement of another party. There's no crime, so it's over to you.
Anything from the PM to help identify him?
Height, build, and so on. Now, the big surprise is he wasn't an old dosser. He was aged between 14 and 18.
Teenage runaway? Well, this'll be a gutty one.
Rather you than me.
Still, with a kid this age, there's likely to be a MISPA report.
Yeah, and here's your first clue. This is a business card for a music shop in Harlow, probably where he bought his tin whistle from. Unfortunately, the business has closed down.
Still, it gives us a place to start looking.
Good hunting.
Cheers. I never realised you fancied that sort of work.
What sort of work?
Community liaison. We've all heard you slagging it off as a total waste of space.
I never said I fancied it.
Well, the way you're talking.
No, I was just talking about Cato getting it and me getting nothing.
You're making it sound very tasty.
Yeah, well, anything's better than carrying Brownlow's bag till I drop off the perch.
So go for it.
Me? It's already fixed.
Well, it's a one-horse race at the moment, but if you let it be known you're interested, they've got to consider you. And compared to Cato, you're a Mother Teresa.
Brownlow'd never wear it.
Well, now go through him. Go round him. You must have the black on some in that area.
No comment. I think I'll just pop out, Bob, see my old mate Pete.
Mr. Binstead, is that?
The very man, yeah.
Chief Inspector, Personnel?
I do believe he is, Bob, now you mention it, yes. If Mr. Brownlow should ask, tell him I've got a meeting on one of the estates. Bit of community liaison.
This is Inspector Monroe, Metropolitan Police, Sunhill. There's a possibility that we may have one of your MISPers brought in dead, I'm afraid. It's a Timothy Prentice I'm looking at. Yes, we'll have to bring the next of kin down here. But as for them identifying the body, well, I can't see where they'd start, frankly, and they'd be best advised not to look. I'd say we'll want medical and dental records if you could chase those up. Harlow got back to me. It all checks out. The lad's still missing and he was musical. Played the flute in his school orchestra.
Next to kin?
Mother, Mrs. Prentice.
She coming on her own?
Father's decamped. They're trying to contact him.
Bit of a choker.
To say the least.
Only seems like yesterday we were on the course at Bramshill.
Yeah, years ago now, though, Derek. Another life.
Do they still do that scrubbers ball, or have they blown that out in the interests of sexual equality?
Well, I wouldn't know, as a matter of fact. So, what can I,
Of course, I was only there for the beer, but you scored, didn't you, you rascal?
Well, I don't remember a lot about the occasion, Derek.
What was the name of that woman you pulled?
I don't know. Ancient history now.
Magnolia, was it? No, that's not it.
Margarita.
Yeah, that's right. Margarita, very nice woman. Very quiet, I always thought. Seeing her scuttling around the corridors with a squeegee and plastic bucket. Just shows you, eh? Still waters. It's a good job it was me sleeping next door to you, or trying to.
So what exactly brings you, Derek?
Well, I'm a bit worried, to be perfectly frank. This business about the borough CLO at Sunhill.
Oh, yes.
Well, it's not my department, I know, but sometimes you have to think in terms of the best interests of the force as a whole.
Yes.
Cato, Barton Street. I mean, I've nothing against the man personally, but community liaison officer. Now, I'm forced to tell you, Pete, could be a tragic mistake.
Go on.
Well, your CLO these days is very much a key man, yeah?
Well, it's a very sensitive post. There's no argument about that.
That's my point. I mean, your CLO has to do the ethnics, has to do the youth, potential flashpoints in the context of an inner-city tension scenario.
That's true.
What you don't want is a man who's abrasive, overbearing, and unfamiliar with the responsibilities of command.
Indeed, but we are restricted by the availability of suitable officers.
Well, it's my view that you should have an officer who's put a bit of service in. A man who knows the ropes. A mediator.
I hear what you're saying, Derek. These are relevant criteria. So, who ought to be in the frame?
I thought it might be helpful if we had an informal chat, Philip. Since the Bush Telegraph seems to suggest that we're going to be working under the same roof together.
Sir?
Oh, do take a seat.
Yes, sir.
So, Philip, quite a challenge for you moving over to community liaison.
I'll give it my best, sir. Like any other job. Always have, always will.
Yes, well, that can't be faulted as far as it goes. But I wondered if you've got any specific ideas about how you'd approach the CLO's role.
Local council, ethnic minorities, youth.
Yes?
It's my belief, sir, with all these elements, you have to know where to draw the line.
Coffee?
Of course, you understand, Derek, I can't make any promises.
Oh, no, well, that goes without saying, Pete. Do you remember that last day at Bramshill? I had to keep the commandant talking while you got old Marguerite out by the back stairs.
But without making any promises, it's a definite maybe. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
You can identify these as your son Timothy's property, Mrs. Prentice?
Yeah.
Sit down. I'm sorry, I realise this is a terrible shock for you.
I want to see him.
I'm sure you do. I know I'd feel the same, but...
Please. I want to see him.
That'll be up to you. But do listen. We still can't be certain it's Timothy. I'm afraid you won't know by looking either. The dental and medical records should prove it one way or another, and the pathologist will get back to us as soon as it's definite.
How could he get into that state?
If it's any consolation, he wasn't killed by the fire. It was the smoke, probably in his sleep. The fire damage came after. There's no reason to think he suffered. Come and sit in my office. Have a cup of tea.
Mr. Burnside.
Mr. Cato. Gov. What's that bald-headed bastard from Barton Street doing here?
What, Cato? Well, you know he passed his board for Chief Inspector.
It's engraved on my heart.
Yeah, well, the buzz is he's coming here as Borough CLO.
Words fail me.
You got a problem with Cato?
There is a bit of needle, yes. Goes back to Gordon race time.
Yeah, I know Sunhill got one of his skippers bent.
Not before time. Not only brutal, but bent with it.
Bent sergeant, bent governor, eh?
I wouldn't say that for a minute, sir.
Good. Because if he is coming here, we're going to have to learn to live with him, aren't we?
And vice versa.
I've just said...
No, but look, how does that cover you, huh?
Look here, mate. Any driver with permission of the insured.
Just a minute, sir.
I was told to come here.
Yes, sir. If you like to
My
take a
name's
seat,
Prentice. It's about my son.
Mr. Prentice. Yeah, hold on.
What about this then, mate? Yeah, is it all right? Can I go?
No, it's not. Hold on. Hello, Miss Monroe? Yes, Ollie's here, sir. Yeah, I've got Mr. Prentice down at the front there, sir. Yes, I will. Yeah. Right. Will you wait for me, sir? He's on his way. Sure. Now, look, there is nothing to say that you have got the permission of the insured.
Well, look at it, mate. Look, it's the same address. It's my girlfriend.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you've got her permission, does it, right?
Mr. Prentice.
Yes.
I'm Inspector Monroe.
How do you do?
This way, please. This way.
What's happened?
This way, please. I'm afraid it's bad news. We've heard from the pathologist. The body has been identified as your son. Please, this way. Come.
Oh, sorry, Ellison.
It's all right.
Sorry, I'm fine. Have you told her?
Yes, your wife's here.
My ex-wife, actually.
In here, please, sir. There are some formalities that you'll have to go through, but if you'd like to spend some time together in private, I'm sure I can arrange a room.
Well done.
You what?
Oh. All that aggravation you gave me about custody and access. You made a bloody good job of looking after him in the end, didn't you?
He needed you so much. Why did you walk out?
Because life with you wasn't worth living. That must have been what he thought, too.
Get him out!
Get off!
Get out!
The pair of you! This is the most disgusting exhibition I've ever witnessed!
All right, Andrew, I'll deal with this.
Sir.
Sit down. And you. You're the Prentices. I'm Chief Inspector Conway. Now, I'm not into marriage guidance, and I'm not a bereavement counsellor. I am a police officer. Now, that doesn't mean I'm made out of wood, despite the rumours. Look, I understand that you're both at the end of your tethers in a situation like this, so we will forget what's just happened in here. But this is a police station. And while you're in it, you'll conduct yourself in the proper manner or face the consequences. Understood?
Don't look at me. It's her.
I wasn't going to sit here and listen to all that.
I don't know about all that, and I don't care. Slagging each other off is only avoiding the issue. You do know that, don't you?
You know Cato, Barton Street?
Yeah, bald-headed bastard.
Yeah, that's the one. He's been made up the Chief Inspector.
Yeah, son.
Well, he's coming here.
Cobblers.
No, it's gospel. Look, he's been goose-stepping around the neck this very morning.
What, you mean he's having Conway's job?
No, you prats. He is going to be the community liaison officer.
Well, he can't do any harm there, can he, Reg? It's no skin off our nose, is it, eh?
What you have to do is face up to the worst thing in the world. I can't tell you how to do that. I've never been in your position, and I'm bloody thankful. But I can put you on to people who'll try and help.
What do you say? I was that close to smacking their heads together, Bob.
Well, that was clear enough.
That's not me.
Once in a while, one gets through to you. There's no accounting for it.
I'd appreciate it if the story didn't go any further. Poor example for the troops.
The apprentices, they're ready to do the necessary paperwork.
Not going to GBH each other then, sir?
No. Well, not on our premises anyway, which is the important thing.
What did you say to him, sir?
Oh, just the usual old flannel, Andrew.
Make no difference to us, except wrong accusing a canteen with all the yakkies.
Remember Celia, do you? Half. She was a youth and community officer. Spent most of her time organising football matches.
She? Never guessed that. Cycling proficiency test, maybe.
Now, George Garfield got the wrong end of the stick. He thought Cato was coming in to take over from Conway.
What a plank. Where do you think Conway could go?
Conway will be licking the old man's boots till he pops his clogs.
And then Brownlow will have him stuffed and mounted and put in the cabinet with the trophies.
I spoke to Cato this morning.
Oh, yeah?
To be quite honest with you, I'm not sure there's anybody at home. I don't know what he's going to make of the CLO job. Just glad I haven't got him under my feet all day.
Well, you want the right man under your feet, don't you, sir?
I expect we'll have a few storms to weather while the CLO settles in, but once that's happened, it'll be business as usual.
Yeah, same old faces in the same old places.
If I have my way. I usually do. Yes. Interesting times, Derek.
Yes, interesting times, sir.
I understand you managed to do a useful bit of smoothing things over downstairs.
Apprentices just happened along at the right time, that's all, sir.
Well, it sounds like a first-rate piece of practical policing to me. Just what I'd expect from an old hand like you.
Yeah, well, I'm full of tricks, sir. Even you might be surprised.